It's time to talk about Ultraman, Episode 5, once again, on Going Ultra Season 2. So, I'm going to do, hopefully, the shortest of recaps. Basically, this episode introduced, or brought to the fore, the kind of stalker otaku guy, and his obsession with Ren Sayama has gotten people killed, multiple people apparently, who have been trolling him and whatnot, and Mr. Endo, a detective, who apparently hates Ultraman, is very upset that the Science Patrol is getting involved in the case and taking it away from him. And like I said, for some reason he hates Ultraman, but he doesn't tell his partner why. We don't find out just yet. And in the meantime, Mr. Moriboshi has taken Shinjiro into an alien town that is secreted away, where aliens mostly maintain their transformations, but some do not. One of them who does not is a fighter who hangs out in a bar where he fights. And this guy, Jack, more like Jack, right? Ends up fighting him and beating him. And the guy is walking around untransformed. And Moriboshi has a problem with it. Jack has a problem with it. He's very aggressive. He kind of attacks Shinjiro. And Shinjiro is taken aback because it turns out that this guy, one of his friends, was killed by Ultraman, about 20 years ago, and the guy says that that Shinjiro smells like Ultraman. So maybe the kaiju or the guy alien had been around at the time too. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So while I like this episode overall, for other reasons, I will put a complaint here at the top. I really don't understand this stalker otaku idol thing. Like I mentioned previously, it was in Kia Asamiya's Junk Record of the Last Hero, where there was somebody obsessed with a girl, and then he kidnaps her, and then the transforming hero, saves her. Obviously that's an awful thing, but the concern seems kind of pedestrian when you can have these bigger threats, and there are these bigger threats to deal with too. And then Bemular is scoping out Endo and this alien guy as he's on the run from him at the end of the episode, and I just don't understand what his subplot is and why he's so important and why he's being threaded through the narrative, because he keeps coming back and we keep coming back to him being obsessed with Sayama, and I really don't get it. I know the blood splatter against the wall overlapping the poster of the troll is supposed to be really grisly, but it's partly comical, and I feel a little bad saying that, but I don't know if it's because it's in animation or what, but it feels a little funny, and I don't know, maybe it's because the detectives are so serious around it. I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Endo, gosh, I really don't get his deal. I like this, tough, grizzled, older detective character. I mean, it's always fun. His junior partner calls him an inspector. But I don't know. I want to know more of his story, but I wonder why, because he's appeared before. I wonder why it's being threaded through just like this, or in this way. I guess I don't understand how it's being handled or why it's being handled this way. So I don't know. And it's not a misstep. It's just, it's like a matter of preference. I really don't like what's going on with it. In the last review, I made reference to the Science Patrol being very Men in Black-like, especially with their setup with the aliens and the peace treaty and the understanding and the fact that there's aliens among us and all that stuff. I also find it very funny that they've got this Johnson, Jonsn, these white truck with the, the branding on it and stuff that I've noticed over the episodes. It's kind of everywhere when they're there. And I don't think that stands for anything. I think it's just like a fake, like a puppet organization or like a shell company or whatever that they, operate. Like that's their undercover van or whatever. And I think that's really funny. And then driving home the Men in Blackness of it all, you've got this, alien Enclave, Netflix calls it officially, and it's thing, but Moriboshi said it's an alien town. I think he also said, I've been waiting for this. Sorry. But yeah, it was an interesting thing to see Shinjiro. Shinjiro is simultaneously told that by Moriboshi, that as Ultraman, his job is to kill. And not to apprehend the aliens who become threats, but to kill them. And I don't know if that's because the Science Patrol has other means to apprehend and punish and deal with kaiju or aliens, excuse me, um, or what? But Moriboshi is telling him your job is to kill and you need to accept that, and if you can't, then that's too bad. But then Moriboshi is walking through this alien town. He's saying, oh, this person, like these, he names like 3 different alien planets or species or whatever, and like, oh, they're from here, those kids, they're whatever. Like, he seems like he has a familiarity and not a hateful, spiteful familiarity with them. And he doesn't refer to all the aliens there as scum. And he throws this like drink pouch to Shinjiro that has, it's like an alien drink pouch, So like, it's weird because they're in like, it's almost like an ethnic ghetto, except I don't think the aliens mind being there. I think it's almost like a place where they can go and relax and, let their hair down, so to speak, and not worry about, stupid humans and their ridiculous culture. But he seems to have like a respect for them, and even the one from the bar fight who was not transformed into a human form or human facade like he's supposed to be. Moriboshi isn't like, you better transform or we're gonna kill you. It was just like, hey, you're not listening. But then the guy walks off not transforming, and Moriboshi just lets it slide, and it's not a problem for him. So I don't fully, I feel like I'm not getting the full picture, and even if I am, I really don't understand, what's going on. I mean, I'm glad they're not killing, all the aliens, like certain Kamen Rider shows, where if there's a race that's different from you, you just put them on a list and mark them down as you're killing them and, committing genocide. But yeah, it's really interesting. I like the nuance. Like, I'm getting a sense that there's a lot of nuance in the way that this is all being handled, and I really enjoy that. But I don't know if it's because Moriboshi needs to maintain this tough persona or what, that he is acting the way he is, but I don't know. Jack seems like a fun and interesting character. I'm curious to find out what his full backstory is. I really, the most enjoyable or a very enjoyable dynamic between Moriboshi and Shinjiro is that Shinjiro is young and naive, and he jumps to conclusions and makes mistakes, and he doesn't have the full understanding and experience that someone like Moriboshi, who's been working for the Science Patrol for who knows how long, has. And Moriboshi is of the temperament that he, I think, kind of enjoys pointing out to Shinjiro just how little he knows about the world. He likes to show him how naive he is. So he leads him through this conversation about the informant that they're looking for, that that basically leads to Shinjiro being wrong like 3 or 4 times in a row. And I think they've done that bit a couple times. And I think it's a lot of fun. It makes Moriboshi actually, it kind of takes the edge off of him, because I think as much as he is angry and like a very severe person, and he even told Shinjiro, like, I don't like you, but I'm going to work with you. but if you're going to be here, these are the things you need to do. It makes him a more enjoyable character, because he's not this humorless, like rage monster. He's a real person, and I get irritated with people too, and it's funny how how you can handle that, I guess. But back to my point about Jack, he's a fun, interesting character. I wonder if he's supposed to be a white American, being blonde as he is, and being named Jack. Obviously you can be Jack and be from anywhere, so he could be Japanese, but I don't think he's supposed to be Japanese, especially because the way that people are illustrated and drawn and colored here, everyone's got black hair for the most part, except for the people who've dyed it, and you can tell. So, like I said, it's taking a much more realistic approach. It's more of a tokusatsu aesthetic than an anime aesthetic, where, anime you'll have blue, green hair, whatever colors, and it doesn't matter where you're from. But I think they're going for something a little more international with this, because I would think if there's an alien treaty signed, that not only would Japan be involved with it, but the rest of the world would be, at least some segments of the world. So, yeah. Anyway, obviously Jack is like a mystery that they've introduced, and he's something to explore. Why can he only live in this town and whatnot? But I like him so far. I like the attitude. I like how he knows Moriboshi shtick, and he's just kind of telling the kid to hold on. It's funny how workplaces are like that sometimes. We have a couple guys here at work that every time there's a new kid, I'm 32, or almost 32, so I can say that. But we'll hire 18, 19-year-old guys, and they come in and they kind of get put through their paces or whatever. Anyway, people always play with them when they come into the work, because especially now, everyone's so used to Ubering and iPhones and video games and stuff, and the kind of work I do is very physical, or it used to be. But the work the rest of the people do, the other 40 or so guys at my business, they all do very physical work, and it's kind of, I don't know, somewhere between a rude awakening and like a very interesting experience for somebody fresh and new to come in to it. And I kind of enjoy seeing that with Shinjiro, and I think he's not like being abused or anything, so it's fine. And we don't cross lines here, but it's funny to see how veterans of a thing deal with new recruits, and it's a fun interplay. And I even get that vibe from Endo and his partner, but we haven't spent enough time with them for me to say too much about that. I don't really have much else to say, so I'll wrap up by saying that I really enjoyed this episode. I think this is a really good show, and I'm having so much fun. I like how diverse it is. Again, this is from a manga, so the story of Ultraman, or this particular story of Ultraman, it feels different from a tokusatsu or an anime, and I think that's good. And it feels like it's not afraid to have almost no action in an episode. Like this one, there was a little bit, there was a foot chase. Excuse me. There was, a couple seconds of Jack fighting that alien, and that was it. And, that's okay, because we're here to explore this world and explore the ideas, and, to be transported away from our ordinary lives while we're riding on the subway. Oh, or, watching at home, whatever. And it's just a lot of fun. So I'm very pleased with this, and looking forward to the next one. And what was Bemular doing, man? Anyway, I found out a fun fact about Bemular. That was the original name for Ultraman, according to the wiki. And then it became a name of an enemy or something. I didn't read too much, but I thought that was really interesting.